Hi, this is Polly from thefitmumformula.com. So the other day somebody asked me which is better, sugar or artificial sweeteners. Now this is a bit of a tough one because there's pros and cons to both. So let's talk about what happens when you eat them. Okay, well, sugar, especially really refined simple sugars like sweets and table sugar, they get absorbed into your body really, really quickly. They're really quick to digest, and that's why you get a quick boost of energy, and that's also why you get a fairly quick crash of energy as well. Now this isn't good because this plays havoc with systems in your body that try and keep your blood sugar steady, and over time if you get too much of this up and down happening, that's what can lead to diabetes, or one of the things that can lead to it. Also, sugar is very high in calories, and it's very, very easy to eat. Unlike other foods which will fill you up, you can pretty much sit and eat pure sugar endlessly, and it would take an awful long time to get full. So for somebody wanting to lose weight, it is not your friend at all, because it's just so easy to overeat without making you feel satisfied in any way. So you think, okay, well, let's go on to artificial sweeteners. They've got to be better then, right? They've got absolutely 0 calories or very, very low calories in some of them, and they're sugar-free. So you think that they don't impact blood sugar. Well, that's what people used to think, but actually studies are showing that when you consume artificial sweeteners and you monitor your blood sugar, there does appear to be a rise in blood sugar. Now, it's not 100% sure why this happens, and it seems to happen at different rates in different people, but it's something to do with the body detecting the sweet taste, even though it is sugar-free, calorie-free, and getting confused, for want of a better word, and playing around with your blood sugar. So just because it is calorie-free, sugar-free, don't think that that you're not having an impact on your blood sugar levels just by choosing artificial sweeteners. Now, the other thing that's recently emerged is it appears that some sweeteners negatively impact your gut health and gut bacteria in particular. Now, this is important because if you've got things wrong in your tummy, if your gut bacteria levels aren't right, that's going to lead to other problems like IBS-like symptoms, and also having the wrong bacteria in your gut has also been linked to other things like, again, blood sugar management and obesity, hunger levels, and all sorts of things. So you really want to keep your tummy happy and not be having too many things that are causing that to go out of whack if possible. Now, also with artificial sweeteners, what you will find, if you search the internet as to reasons to not eat artificial sweeteners, you'll probably find that if you eat them, you'll die. Now, obviously, that's ridiculous. There's been links to all sorts of things like cancer, everything basically, and people saying they're the absolute devil. Now, let's be logical here. If they were really, really that dangerous in the amount that you consume, even somebody who eats a lot of them and only eats artificial sweeteners as opposed to sugar, if they were really, really that dangerous, there is absolutely no way they would be allowed on our shelves. And even in some people who maybe are a little bit sensitive to them, and of course you can be sensitive to any kind of food substance on earth, then if you have a lot of them, yeah, some people report they have things like headaches, but whether it's directly the sweeteners or whether it's other things, remember there's in artificially sweetened drinks, for example, there's colorings, there's caffeine in some of them, so who knows, it's a very grey area. If you don't feel well on them, don't eat them. It's as simple as that. And the other argument is that they are man-made and a chemical. That's very true. They are. That directly does not mean they're dangerous. But I personally subscribe to the thought that Mother Nature got it right in the first place. So I try and have things that are close to natural as possible. However, personally, I'm not a fan of too much sugar for the reasons you mentioned before, for the calories, the rise in blood sugar, and that's why I don't like having too many artificial sweeteners. So my personal favourite so far is stevia, because it's a calorie-free sweetener, but it's from a plant, so it is natural. It obviously has to go through a lot of processing to get to a usable state. You can buy stevia plants and dry them out yourself. You know, feel free to have a look online if you want to do that. But that's as close as I can get as to something that I personally would use, and that is what I do use. But again, it's still, because you've got that sweet factor, That's not to say it's not going to impact your blood sugar, and nobody knows, because it's relatively new compared to other things. We don't know a huge amount about long-term consumption and other health connections and that kind of stuff. So just because it is calorie free and natural, essentially, if it's the pure stuff, you can get a lot of cheaper ones that are really bulked up. It doesn't mean that it's just a free-for-all. So ideally, what we want to be doing, and you're not going to like this answer, is you want to reduce your sweet tooth. Try cutting back on the amount of sweet things you have, whether that's sugar, whether that's natural whole food sugars, things like dates and maple syrup, whether that's artificial sweeteners. If you can just cut back gradually, try replacing things like in mashed fruit, because of course mashed fruit has fructose, which is a form of sugar, but it also has loads of vitamins, it has loads of fiber. I'm talking about real whole fruit with the skin here, not fruit juice, which has had the fiber removed. So that's what we want to do ultimately, is be reducing the amount of sweetness overall to change your taste. But of course, we've all got to have our vices. So if you have the occasional small bit of sugar, it's fine. If you have the occasional artificial sweeteners, that's fine. It's not gonna kill you. And if you, like me, if you prefer things that are kind of somewhere in the middle, like stevia or sugar alcohol's another one that are fairly more natural, then that's fine too. Just keep it sensible. Just don't live off these things. Don't be having them all day, every day. And if it keeps you on track elsewhere on your diet, because you're able to have a little bit of a sweetness without going too far off the rails and eating the entire chocolate cake, then they're fine. Don't stress about it unless you've got a personal issue where you react to these things. So I hope that's helpful. Don't worry about the sweeteners. Don't worry too much about the sugar. Just try and keep actual sugar down to a minimum. And stop stressing, enjoy life. It's really not that bad. So I hope that's helpful. That's Polly from thefitmumformula.com, off to go and make a coffee with some sugar in it. Bye.